Aloha viewers, here we are on Oahu, Hawaii. We have a special guest today, James Dvorak from Maui. He is with 808 EFoils. Please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so like Paul said, from Maui, I am an avid eFoil enthusiast. I've been doing this for about 3 years, tried almost not every brand, 3 different brands, Flightboard, Waydo, currently riding Lift. I think I have every wing they sell. I've tried all of them. And the reason I'm out here is I actually sought Paul out because of his creation. He was the first ever to create a short mast, and so because of that, we got talking. I wanted to know everything about it, and I made the trip out to see him and learn more about his boards.
Well, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have before we go riding today. I'd love to get your real honest feedback at how it rides and how it, the pros and cons and how it compares with the other boards that you've ridden.
Awesome. Can we start with the remote? I've actually, it's pretty small. Yeah, compared to the Lift or others,
So how does it feel?
Feels good.
Okay.
What are their features? I mean, right away you notice the comfort in the hand. It's not huge, right? I'm sure it floats.
Yes.
But yeah, anything unique in the features or designs versus other manufacturers?
So we designed our remote to be, we call it the nano remote.
Yeah.
It's super small. It's supposed to be invisible when you're holding it, but we designed it after a game controller or gaming controllers because we want people to have a lot of fun with it. So it's very similar to, PlayStation, VR type style game controllers where you have this trigger. So that's really where we drew the inspiration from.
Well, right away, versus a trigger remote on my Lift, I can feel this feels more comfortable to me as far as holding it down for distance, where the other way it's more, I don't know.
Okay.
I like how it wraps your whole finger around in the front.
And the size is much bigger,
a lot
right?
smaller. I like that. I find myself hiding the remote sometimes so people don't see the big remote in my hand. This is pretty discreet.
Oh, cool.
So I like that. Can you tell me a little bit about the second iteration of this? Like what's different from this version that's coming?
Right. So what you're seeing here is XFoil 1.
Okay.
And XFoil 1 is a fully carbon fiber board. We don't do inflatables. We don't do kind of less inferior type materials.
Yeah, cheap build or not, but lighter, less,
we don't do
more
the
inexpensive discount. Yes, exactly.
So we only use the best stuff with XFoil. So all fully carbon fiber, and everything is aircraft aluminum. The mast is all aircraft aluminum. The wings, tail, they're all full carbon fiber.
Okay.
So the difference between the XFoil 1 and 2 is that we've re-engineered XFoil 2 to be more optimized. So we've taken a look at every aspect of XFoil 1 where we can improve on the stiffness, the lightness, the power output inside the electronics, the efficiency of how it's being cooled, even down to the last detail of the latches.
Okay.
So it's a lighter, stronger, more powerful, faster board than this one that you'll be testing today. And we are going to be introducing it for $3,999.
Wow.
That's a full
no way. Full
electric carbon fiber board, but you get the standard range battery.
Wow. Okay. But for that price point, I don't know of other. And is that introductory price only?
That is the introductory price only.
Okay, good
that
to know.
Would normally be about $12,000.
And is there a limit on how many people get that?
Yes, it's a limited time offer.
Get it while you can.
Right now, yes.
And then is the second version, are the handles same location? Or are you going to keep them in the front or move them?
The XFoil 2's handle is in the same location.
Okay, because I want to talk about that because a lot of people are putting them here. I actually like this because when I teach people on boards, I have them go on their knees and they're always on the front of the board and they're reaching back to try and hang on or stabilize. So they end up grabbing the board. I like that the handles are up in front so that they can hang on, and two, help pull them further up. Because most people can get their body onto here and then they're wiggling across to move up.
Okay.
I like the placement of the handles up there.
So the way that we designed XFoil is actually pretty unique. We designed it in VR. So we'll have the board there in virtual reality, and we'll figure out where the most optimal point to put our handles are. And we found that this would be the most optimal for getting on and also riding. So, yeah.
And then, as I was
that.
looking, I haven't seen this on any manufacturer yet, but I see a toroidal prop.
Yes.
And so tell me about that. Are you prototyping that, or is that?
The toroidal prop, we call this our competition propeller. It's just really smooth.
Okay.
It's a great prop. And we are offering this as a upgrade
Awesome.
for our existing 3-blade propeller.
Yeah, I mean, it's spreading throughout the boating industry, but I've never seen a manufacturer offer it as an add-on. So that's kudos to you. That's something I would like on my board.
Cool. Well, you're gonna get to ride it today.
I know. I'm excited because I've never tried that yet, or this board. So two for one here.
Cool. Yeah.
No, to me, it's like you're getting 2 boards in one, because there are companies that only make jet boards, and then you've got the EFoils, and with your mast setup, you kind of get the best of both. You can switch it out for either, and I've never seen anybody do this, but shallow rivers. Maybe there's a shallow river by your house.
Yeah.
You can't do that on an EFoil.
Yeah.
But with the short mast, you can enjoy carving through the mangroves or whatever.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I just can't believe nobody else has done it. So yeah, just kind of looking at your board, some of the, like I said, I've ridden many different brands. One thing that stands out to me is the clear ECU cover or ESC cover, because I have a lift board, and many times I've gotten water in it and I didn't know it until I was stranded, and only after coming home, opening it up, did I realize there was water ingress. So this is huge to me to be able to inspect before I go on 20 miles offshore. So I think that's genius. I think all manufacturers should have clear or a sight to keep an eye on. Maybe it's burned out. Maybe I love that. So the other thing I notice, which is very similar to Flightboard, is no data cable, no water hose, just a simple 2 connection.
Yes.
Which again should be the standard at this point, in my opinion.
We think so. It should just be put the battery in, positive, negative, close it, ride.
Yeah. No, we've had failed data ports. I can't tell you how many. I've had marine creatures stuck in my intake tube that took me out in the middle of the ocean. I got home and it was a little animal stuck in the tube.
Okay.
So something as simple as that, and if you're in a lake, maybe sea lake grass. So not having that, I'm huge on the passive cooling.
Right.
So I love that it's passive cooling. I love there's no data cable. But yeah, what really sets it apart is the open, being able to look inside.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you get to see if there's any potential problems before it happens. Yeah, and you get all your indicator lights as well.
Yeah, and I noticed you have a light battery too.
Yes. Yeah, this is the small one.
Yeah,
this is the standard range.
Okay.
And then this one is the long range.
And what would you say average ride time for a normal person?
So average ride time for, let's say, about a 150-pound person is about slightly under an hour for this. Okay. And then the long range would be about 2.5 hours, greater than 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I like that you offer both. It was substantially lighter. I was surprised when I lifted it.
Yeah, well here.
It kind of surprised me. I was like,
feel?
really? it's wild.
Yeah, it's only 14 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. And to be able to switch out, I like that.
Right.
Yeah, is there anything else I should know before we get in the water on these?
So with regard to the batteries, a lot of people also ask us what the difference is between our battery is versus maybe some of the other boards. Okay. And we run at a higher voltage. We run at about 14% higher voltage than Flightboard. So this will run up to 67.2 volts.
Wow.
And by running at a higher voltage, it just makes everything more efficient. Basically, there's less resistance in the wires. You don't need as much current through the wires to do the same amount of work. So in terms of efficiency and power, you're going to get more power, you're going to get more runtime, you're going to get a little bit, you're going to feel that punch a little bit more. And everything just runs a little bit better and cooler when you're running at a slightly higher voltage.
Yeah, and again, that's the same in the, I use all electric yard tools. You had the 40 volts, now the 80 volts. Again, more efficient, more power. Is it the highest in the industry? Was it challenging to get to that voltage?
It's not challenging necessarily in terms of making the actual battery. Anybody can make a battery as high of a voltage as possible. But the challenge really is to get the electronics to make it work with a higher voltage.
Okay.
So this actually will work up to 100 volts.
Yeah.
So we can actually technically get a 100-volt battery and plug it in, and
Right.
you're gonna,
So
you're gonna be zipping along.
it's both. It's getting the voltage, but making it work with the board and
Exactly.
the electronics. Okay.
Exactly. Great.
Yeah, I'm excited to try this.
Okay. Well, let's go for a ride,
Yeah.
and we'd love to get your feedback on it.
Thanks for having me out. Let's do this.
Okay. Okay. How does it feel?
Stable, really good.
Okay.
Whatever wing setup you put me on feels really good.
So this is the 1300. It's a little bit more stable than what I'm riding. I'm riding the 1100, a little bit more maneuverable. But this is better for your weight. How does the toroidal feel?
Smooth, it's not punchy. Got more push than my two-blade prop, my folding. Acting more like a three-blade. What's the speed on these?
Max speed? You can do up to 30, but probably not on this setup. You can punch it if you want to try.
I usually don't go too fast. Very smooth. I like the max length. You don't have to jump reach.
How does it feel compared to the other boards that you've ridden?
Visually it looks different, but the swing weight, I was worried about the swing weight. It feels really similar as far as like, it doesn't take, I can, with no problem swinging it.
Okay. Is the swing weight similar?
I would say it's less for this size board. You said this was a 5.6?
Yes.
So I ride a 5.0 and it feels the same.
Okay.
The power feels smooth to me. I'm used to this kind of like lurchy. This feels this. I love this trigger setup. It's just for me, it's a lot more comfortable having my whole finger across.
How's it feel?
It's funny. The biggest thing I noticed is coming in when I went to set down, it planes really nice. My lift board when I come down, it's just your hull design. It's like you can actually just ride it on the flat.
Yeah.
Where I like that. with
Yeah.
minimal power, I could just.
The sound when you set it down, it's soft.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, motherboard's very hard, and then the flat nose, it kind of will catch her. I like much gentler, much more fun to ride on the water. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Huge. That's probably the biggest thing I noticed.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, thanks for letting me try this. It's interesting. Meaning, for your price point, I didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe like when I rode the Wade, I'm like, no, I'll pay the extra money. And it had a premium feel. Honestly, it felt, I loved it. Yeah. And then the biggest things I noticed was the hull design. You know, when I came to set down on the water, it planed nicely. It felt like comfortable, where other boards I've ridden and the one I'm riding now will just dive into the water. Like, you got to really keep the power on.
Okay.
So huge difference. That was probably the most noticeable, the comfort on the water. And watching my son, when he rode, just easily playing out of the water instead of having to quickly get up. And I think that's the nose design, and I don't know how much V-shape you have on this, but yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. And
Great. Glad to
then
hear.
as far as the second biggest thing for me was the controller, how small it was in my hand, and the comfort of wrapping around this way instead of, I don't know, I could rest. It used my whole finger for the throttle instead of having a trigger. Some guys even put rubber bands because, believe it or not, they get tired after an hour of pulling the trigger. I really enjoyed that setup. So good job on that.
You need to try the cruise control mode. There's a cruise control mode.
Oh, I would. Now you tell me. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Appreciate
Should've told
that. Yeah. It sounds funny, almost embarrassing that my finger does get sore after riding an hour and a half. So the idea to have cruise control would be nice.
Yeah, you can let off.
Yeah,
on
it just. And then the prop was, I don't know if it was the prop or your board, but very smooth acceleration. It wasn't like punchy or just nice, gentle. That helped a lot. I like the connection between the trigger, and that felt smooth instead of.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pleasant. I don't know. I guess because the price point is so different, I thought maybe there'd be sacrifice as far as handling or quality. I didn't notice the difference.
So to you, it didn't feel like the price point matched
what did it correct?
What it was.
Because I've ridden the different brands. I'm watching the prices, and the low price ones, you get what you pay for. Meaning, I would not ride it. I chose the premium, and this is like a premium product with a fair price, if that makes sense. So value. I would say it's not cheap. It's value. So
right.
I would definitely recommend this to someone getting into the sport. I'm the most excited about that, which is the dynamic control, your wing. Give us a little teaser on that.
Oh, the dynamic wings is new to XFoil 2. And if you noticed, when I was following you, I'm trying to stay away from your prop wash.
Yeah.
And I did fall once when I went through the prop wash, but with the dynamic wings, it's going to be able to cancel all that stuff out. Because once you go through that prop wash, you'll feel it twist immediately, and the wings will just fix that right away. So it'll just be able to.
I can't wait.
Cut through.
Please have me back out when that's. Yeah, there's a lot of people, naysayers and all, because I don't know, maybe because they paid the hard price to learn the old way, but I don't know. It's like the glider pilot saying, "Oh, these newfangled airplanes with these control surfaces," right? But there's a reason all the planes have them, is because it's a better technology. So I'm excited to see that.
I mean, there's no real disadvantage to moving control surfaces.
Turn it off if you don't like it.
Turn it
dial it down.
Yeah, you can dial it down, or at the very least, you set it to the minimal setting so that everything's just a little bit smoother, and you still have the ride that you want.
The best of both. If you don't like it, But for training, teaching, I can't wait. I don't think people realize what that short mast can do. I wish it was here for us to demo.
Okay.
It just opens it up to possibilities that people don't understand. Dive boards, or maybe lifeguard rescue. You can run and throw. The long mast limits you to so many waterways by hitting reefs or having the ability to enjoy this board without the mast is for me, it's huge. We regularly use these as dive platforms to go diving. So we will go offshore, and it'll pull us along as we're looking for fish or anything, laying in the water.
and then when we're done with our dive, we get on and go to the next.
Right.
And
you need a short mast for
and the
that.
short mast to be able to go in the shallow waters and not have a propeller down by your feet. So
Right. Okay.
yeah, I love it. Thanks for letting me
Great. Yeah.
try this.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
Good.